Hello and God bless you. This is Ker-eet Rivera, and I am doing my reflection questions on Adele Alberg Calhoun's Spiritual Disciplines Handbook, Practices that Transform Us. The practice that I choose for my reflection is worship. We tend to think that worship is like praying and praise music, worship music, just reading and things of that nature. But as Calhoun states right here, worship reveals something or someone we value most. It's what we love. It's what gives our lives meaning. That's what worship truly is. And so I love how she used Jesus's words on Matthew 7:22 and 23. Many will say to me on that day, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name, and in your name drive out demons and perform miracles? And then I will tell them plainly, I never knew you. This is a picture of how serious it is to take worship not just as an act of adoration, but an internalizing of God, an internalizing of He's the reason we do worship. We're not worshiping it for cool points with Him. We're worshiping Him because it is something that fulfills our spirit, something that fulfills us within. And the closer we get to Him, the more alive we feel, the more spiritually rejuvenated we feel. And so I feel that this is one of the things that I want to work on myself the most, because I once thought that that's what it was. It was prayer, it was worship, it was music and reading the word. But if you're reading the word, let's say, and you're not internalizing the word, right? Not building a firm foundation in your faith using the word when you're reading, and you're just reading just to read, you'll miss the point of what God is doing with His word. If you're praying and you're just praying the right things to say, or even the things that you want, or petitions, and you're not praying with expectation that God is really listening to you, then it's kind of in vain. And then if you're listening to worship music, or even creating worship music, though I will set that aside, because in creating worship music, it does feel more than just as a practice. It's actually an internalizing for me, maybe not for others, and I would hope that for it is for others. But reflection question 1 says, how has a particular style of worship, charismatic, traditional, contemporary, liturgical, shaped you and your image of God? My particular style is more I like to learn, the I guess the liturgical, because I love to learn God's word. I love to hear God's word, and it does something. It fills a spot in me that was once empty. And because of knowing who God is, I am starting to become aware of who I am and what God created me for, and my purpose here on this earth. So for me, the literary is more, and if I'm saying that correctly, yes, and the charismatic as well, because the more you put yourself in tune with God, you're gonna show. It's gonna show in your actions. You're gonna be happy. You're gonna be joyous. You're gonna show peace to people and loving kindness to people. And then when things get bad, you're gonna recognize that God is still good. How does a particular form or style of worship shape me now? Right now, I am getting acquainted more with worship. So in order to answer that, I would have to say that it's just a daily practice for me. Who is God to me? He's everything. There's no way to explain who He is to me. He's everything to me. I don't. My life means nothing without God, and it's always been that way. I may have turned the wrong directions, but it's always, my life has always been focused on what I'm here for and what God created me for. So He's never been apart from me, and apart from him I am nothing. So he is everything to me. What name for God? Shepherd, Lord, Father, Dayspring, Bread of Life best describes your relationship with him right now. He is my shepherd. He's leading me. He's leading me. I was a lost sheep, and I'm going back to the flock. I'm going back home, and that's a beautiful thing for me. Uh, how does worshiping him alone and worshiping with others affect me? Worshiping him alone, I express myself to him a lot more fully. When worshiping him with others, I tend to hold back, just to be truthful. I let myself go, but it is them times that I let myself go and show how vulnerable I am that I stray back from that sometimes. And I know I need to get better with that, but that is what happens. What about God moves me to worship? His very presence, his being, the freedom that I feel when I'm in his presence, when I'm truly in worship and really truly seeking after his spirit. And that's why this is the practice that I truly adore the most. Spiritual exercises. The names of God says, which of these names identifies where God is in your life right now? As I said, the shepherd. This says, talk to God about what this revelation of who he is means to you. Use this name when you pray. That is, to be honest, that is something that I am going to begin to start doing. Because of my busy schedule and because of kids and things of that nature, I haven't been able to fully engulf myself in any of these exercises, but I have been reading and seeking these things. So I'm going to start building these things in as a habit. And for anyone who is seeking the same thing, I suggest that that you do some of these things too in Adele Alberg's Calhoun's book, Spiritual Disciplines Handbook, and that's my reflection. I hope that that's sufficient enough for for the cause for you, Professor Lee, and for anyone watching this. Uh, you know, I pray that we grow in this together. God bless you.